Hello everyone, this is the Chaser channel. My name is Kirill and here we talk about watches. We often came across the premium rectangular G-Shock GMW-B5000 series, but if many models we could call bright colorful, then today's is more suited to the adjective bold. GMW-B5000CS-1E. You can purchase this model at my store, chasterclub.com. As always, I'll leave the link in the description of this video. Plus, as you know, in my store we try to keep the lowest prices for you. And by buying watches in my store, you are 100% sure that you are purchasing original watches. Well, the appearance is unusual, at least from the top, because from the side we see the classic rectangular steel G-Shock. That means buttons and the satin finished protrusions between them. Even at the back, the case back, we've seen it like this many times, but now it features this mesh pattern. And on top, starting from the bracelet, moving to the bezel and back to the bracelet, we are greeted by this three-dimensional mesh. To some, it might remind them of notebook grids, to others, arcade games of the 90s. I think the second option is closer. Maybe it's some sort of design story. In any case, there are many analogies, but the visual effect created is, to say the least, unusual. I think it will be perfect for perfectionists who love precision because everything is symmetrical in terms of this mesh pattern, and it also transitions to the dial. Here we have gray grid lines, unlike the white on the case and bracelet, and the dial itself is also familiar to us. We've encountered this model very often, and I'm pleased with how Casio handles the other GMW-B 5500 models. There are 24 variants, and among them we've seen some very bold designs. We had this model 6 times, or rather representatives of this series. Today we're reviewing the 7th one. And there are always some intriguing solutions, as in this case. However, the functionality hasn't changed here. Still inside is a module that not only has the standard G-Shock set, world time, alarm, stopwatch, timer, and also Bluetooth. World time, here we can set 5 cities. Alarm. So there are 5 alarms, one of which has a time shift feature. Stopwatch, 24 hours, timer also 24 hours. Bluetooth. Now, that's where it gets more interesting. We can set reminders, change the languages that display the day of the week, and for example, adjust the timekeeping accuracy. And there are some other features as well. Also, let's not forget that the watch has multiband 6, which means radio synchronization with one of the 6 towers. Naturally, all of this is powered by solar energy. Well, to the standard G-Shock water resistance and shock resistance, alpha gel has been added, a metal capsule has been added, meaning the durability here is at the highest level. The backlight is premium, just like the watch, with smooth on and off transitions, excellent readability in the dark, and an auto backlight mode. It will activate without pressing a button when tilted, and of course, as always, they sit perfectly on the wrist. As you understand, we've measured them 6 times, and this is the 7th. The dimensions haven't changed. Height 49.3 millimeters, width 43.2 millimeters, thickness 13 millimeters. That's due to the protruding back cover and the raised bezel, but they still look quite compact. And the bracelet is also steel with an IP coating, also with a mesh pattern, also made symmetrically. No, perfectionists will definitely enjoy this model. Even the clasp has switched to the G-Shock style, branded on a wrist up to 21.5 centimeters. And the total weight of the watch is 167 grams. Plus or minus average, you can slightly feel their weight on the wrist. I think this model is primarily for people who love design, who love interesting and unusual things. Perhaps square images even, clear. And also a model for the soul. That is, it will definitely please the eye if you like this pattern, and it will definitely catch the eye. Although it would seem, yes, black-gray, the colors are not particularly remarkable, but due to this mesh image, it certainly catches the eye. This release is limited. Of course, it won't suit everyone. And in this series, there are options, as you understand, simpler, more standard. Here we encounter something unusual. In the end, I couldn't make an exact determination of what Casio wanted to show here. Well, I think it's more of a reference to the 90s, to arcade games. My first association was just that. And I think that after all, the rectangular case with which the history of G-Shock began is the quintessence of such vintage G-Shock elements. And here they decided to add elements from the 90s. Well, it depends on how one perceives this design. I think it's definitely a gaming reference. In any case, all the G-Shock advantages are present here. Here are additional benefits like reliability, Bluetooth, solar battery, and world time for 5 cities, perfect for travelers. And at chasterclub.com, the series is represented not only by these watches, there are other options, all available in my store at the lowest prices. In the end, I'd like to know your opinion on this model. Be sure to leave it in the comments below the video. If you liked it, give a like and subscribe to the channel. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.